Welcome back to the channel, Adventures Through Climate Change with your host, Trevor Snyder, and we're taking a look at climate change and seeing what's going on, what's the best approach we should take. Really, we're watching videos from all aisles and perspectives on the argument, all the different things that go into it, what we should be doing, best vehicles, best energy output we should be doing. Should we be demonizing the fossil fuel industry? What's happening? So we're taking a look at all that and hopefully having civil discussions. Either way, you can disagree with me all you want. You're going to anyways. We're just watching other people's videos that they put together that are telling us on what we should believe. Today, actually, we're taking a look at... Dan Peña, Is Global Warming the Greatest Fraud? $50 Billion Man by London Real. Let's subscribe and like it. I've listened to this guy before. He's very, he was cussing up a storm last time, so fair warning on that. And he was very direct on what he believes. Let's listen and then let's discuss after that. How about that?
Dan, you got the money, okay?
I got a few, Bob, yeah.
Okay, you support Trump? You do?
Yep.
Okay.
I was one of the first endorsers, public endorsers of President Trump.
What are you guys going to do when our ocean level rises?
Thank you for asking that question. I have the answer.
No, let me finish.
I have the answer.
Let me finish.
Thank you for the question. Yeah. Okay.
For the first time on Earth, we're changing the gas.
Now you're full of shit. Sit down. I'm going to answer you. I'm going to answer. Just
Dan,
shut up and sit down.
No way.
Sit down.
No, I got to finish my question.
See, this is not the type
I'm
of
going to answer
discussion.
global warming.
All right, finish the question,
our
then
gas
answer.
Is changing on Earth, and it's changing to CO2. What do you people with the money, what are you doing about this? Because
I'm going to tell you right now.
Children. No, I've got children. I've got 21, 23-year-old children. And what's their future with you people with money? You talk about money all of the time.
Okay. Sit down, please. Sit down,
Hold
please. In the
people
front
out
row.
of abject
Excuse me.
poverty.
In the front row, please
Money
sit down.
has.
Okay, you've asked your question. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to answer.
Excuse me, ma'am. Will you please sit down?
And
Please.
Thank you.
That's okay. Please sit down. Let him answer.
okay. In 2011, my wife and I were in Antarctica, renewing our vows. For most of you that don't know, Antarctica's on a mountaintop. Okay? And there is a $500 million facility, scientific facility there, and the scientists came to give us presentations about global warming. And they had cores of ice that they had drilled. They had drilled 4,000 or 5,000 cores, and they only brought 15 or 20. So they're going through the second or third core, and they said, 275,000 years ago, this was the temperature, blah, 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 blah. And then 55,000 years ago, the world was 2 degrees warmer Celsius than it is today. This is 2011. And, stop. And he said, and I said, well, you mean the whole world? He says, yes. And the poles are only benchmarks. And I said, well, what about the things that the young woman alluded to? Okay? And he said, it's all cyclical. And although the gas may have exacerbated it, in the cosmos of time, it's not a fart in the wind. In the cosmos of time, of the 13.8 billion years that we've been on this miserable planet, it's not a fart in the wind. And as I told Joe Rogan on his show, and he said in his infinite wisdom, and Joe, if you hear this, I thank you for the opportunity of being on your show. He said, then in 25,000 years, it's most likely not going to be a problem. Now, my direct answer to your question, if that were really true, which you believe, and let's just for a moment say that it is true, that means that the best scenario vis-a-vis global warming is about 10 feet raise in water. That's the best scenario over the next 40, 50 years. That's the best scenario. The worst scenario is about 100 feet. But let's just take the 10 feet. If the water on the planet is going to rise up 10 feet, that means the southern part of the United States is gone. England is gone. Most of Europe is gone. And I can go, most of Central America is gone. Okay. If that's the case, let's just take Florida, for example, which is one of the fastest growing beachfront condominiums on the planet. In the prospectus, when you invest, there should be, in the footnotes, if global warming is for real, they won't put it that way, global warming happens and water rises 10 feet, this investment you made is fuck all. Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000, this century, has alluded to global warming. Not one motherfucker. If it were really true, the banks wouldn't invest. The banks wouldn't finance. Not one motherfucking condominium.
This guy's so crude.
So the people that have the money, and I'm jealous of the Vice President, Gore, which Sally and I rode on a plane from South America with a few years ago. I am jealous he came up with a scam before I did.
He made $300 million off of it.
Because the financial institutions, the banks of this world know it's not going to happen. Otherwise, you couldn't get a goddamn loan in London. You know those 30, 40-year mortgages? The world will be over by then. Is Barclays Bank going to give you a motherfucking loan? With the greatest respect, ma'am, it's the greatest fraud that's been perpetrated on mankind this century.
Okay, I told you he's pretty vulgar, and you know, I don't know. He's not necessarily the scientist. I mean, maybe he knows more about science than I know. I don't know. I just have my bachelor's in biology. I'm not like, I don't have a career in science, right? You know, I sell real estate because I love real estate. And I've always been in sales my whole adult life, and I'm 40 years old, so that's just what it is. Except for the small time that I did work in the oil fields, I did have some manual labor jobs too, but I digress. I'm sorry. With that being said, I think he was right with some of the stuff, right? I think if banks were concerned, it would be a lot more. However, as you can see with, even though they say the hurricanes are getting worse or whatever, I don't think they are. I mean, I live in Florida. I really don't think they are. But we've seen if you live in Florida, you know your homeowner's insurance, they do like to piggyback on that. And is that to make more money? That's what I think. Is there? I mean, I don't know, because the hurricanes can do a lot of damage. So as we saw this last year with was it Ian? Ian, I think. But that's something when you live in an area. It's something like 80% of all tornadoes, or maybe 85% or something, is in Tornado Alley in the United States. All in the world, 80 or 85% of all tornadoes in the world is in that small section in the United States. When you live in a certain area, sometimes you're more prone to their weather patterns. You know, when you live in the middle of the Sahara, you know, unless you were born 5,000 years ago when it was a lush jungle, it is a desert. It's a desert. You know, so you're subjected to what's going on there. So I don't know. I mean, I do know that it was quite a bit warmer. And at one point, I mean, you can see lines in mountains and whatnot where the water was a little bit higher. How much higher? I don't know. So it'll be interesting. I do think there's always things to consider, and I think there's always things that. Obviously, we're always affecting our environment. Everybody affects their environment in every way, whether it's in a small micro scale or a large scale. So that is what it is. I mean, human beings can't help but to affect their environment. Animals that are outside are affecting the environment for me. That's just what happens. I mean, we all affect each other, everything. So so I don't know. I just don't think we should demonize it. With that being said, I would love a subscription. More importantly, a comment. If you like the video, I'd appreciate a like, but otherwise, I totally understand. I get, I'm saying I'm about 50-50 on likes and dislikes. You guys can't see the dislikes. I'm about 50% down the line. You know what I mean? Not everybody agrees with my videos, which is perfectly all right. And it doesn't make me mad. And And when you guys lay down, sometimes they're mean comments. I'm just like, they have a point. Most of the time, it's usually like they have a point, and I either have something to learn from it, or maybe it's usually because I say something when I shouldn't be saying it, or interrupting too much, or I just talk too much. But I digress, and I will hopefully catch you in the next video.